Hey folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, Scion Ragnarök. You kind of have to put that at the end of it to really get it to sound right. This is a supplement for the Scion role-playing game from White Wolf Game Studios. To play this, you really need the Scion Hero, Demigod, and God books. So bear that in mind. All of those have been previously reviewed on our show. That being said, what does Scion Ragnarök bring? Okay, I'll quit it now because it's annoying me. What does this bring to the table that the other games do not? Well, the other Scion games focused on a variety of pantheons. You had the Greek, you had the Egyptian, the Norse, the Aztec, the Japanese, and the Voodoo pantheon. This really brings it home only for, as you can probably guess from the title, only for the Norse setting, the Norse deities, the Norse mythology for this. That being said, it does give you a couple options for bringing some others in, but this book, I feel, really emphasizes only the Norse gods are around. This is the only reality that you need to worry about. So you don't have to worry about how your Scion of Dionysius is going to be interacting with the Scion of Freyr later on in this. It gives an extensive background on most of the prose that gave rise to what we currently consider to be the Norse mythology. Now, I have a friend of mine, hi Mike, who is a Norse pagan who would probably debate that point, but for the purposes of gaming, it works rather nicely. It gives you deeper background on all of the different levels or worlds of the Norse mythology, Asgard, Midgard. It gives you a lot of detail on the major players, the major gods and critters of the Norse pantheon. And then it gives you 3 either mini campaigns or really long extended adventures that you can really string together with a lot of your own ideas to build one really big overarching Ragnarok plot that really, honest to God, does end with the destruction of Asgard and with the great serpent falling to the ground and how you can deal with all of the situations kind of built around that. It uses the Scion system, which is a D10 dice pool system that, as I've said before, it's a little clunky for my taste. A lot of people like it. It gives you some more purviews. It gives you some more knacks. It gives you some more powers that you can use. And it really drives home how one mythology can really carry an entire game line like this. You could very easily play Scion and never have to worry about one of the Japanese deities. You could play completely in the Norse pantheon. Now, when I was growing up, my main source of mythology was Edith Hamilton's mythology, which was mostly Greek, a little bit of Egyptian, and a little bit of Norse thrown in toward the end. So a lot of this was relatively new information for me. However, I like this book. I think it's fairly easy to understand, and it gives you a lot of neat ideas for how to tie in some of these concepts of a specific mythology and apply them towards the end of the world as some of the myths and legends detail it. Now, I'm going to go out on a really blasphemous limb here. So if you're sensitive on issues like religion, faith, and eschatology, you might want to turn down your sound for a few seconds here, all right? In 3, 2, okay. One of the ideas that this book gave me was, let's say that you really wanted to play a more Christian spin on the entire end of the world, scions of the deities, etc. One of the things you could do was, instead of being the scion of, God the creator, you could be the scions of the angels, and you could almost really, using ideas culled from this, not specific adventures or settings, but just how they handled it, do an Armageddon game. And not the wonderful Eden Studios product Armageddon, I mean a true The Book of Revelation, Armageddon, how the world ends, that sort of thing. Now, that's sort of the end of my blasphemy section, so you back? Okay, good. Turn your volume back up. So, Scion Ragnarök, what does this really give you? A specific one mythology setting for the Scion game that is fairly complete. You can run one game from beginning to end, dealing only with the scions of the Norse gods, and sort of how to build an end of the world. So, for Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.